Depeche Mode's first album in 6 years is also their first without founding keyboard player Andy Fletcher. His sudden death in 2022 led many to believe that this was the end of the band, but resiliency won out with Martin Gore and Gahan pushing on with the songs that they'd slowly been crafting. The result is Memento Mori, an astonishing accomplishment that might very well be the best album they've launched since the 90s. Hey neighbor, thanks for stopping by. It's time to review the 15th studio album Memento Mori by the phenomenal, iconic, all the other praise words electronic band Depeche Mode. Can you tell that I've really fallen in love with them lately? Good. Let the record show that I've graduated from casual fan to helplessly addicted to their sonic palette. Okay, so the 2010s were a divisive time for the band, and I can't say that I'm into the much more abstract dissonance they brought to the table. The melodies were much more absent, and it felt like they were pushing buttons to exit the mainstream school of thought, which is fine, it just didn't really connect. Memento Mori is a major return to form and then some. Everything about this era feels draped in the gothic majesty of yesteryear, soaring down the synthetic highway with an existential crisis riding shotgun. Ghosts Again served as the official prelude, and it floored me with how sleek, purposeful, and emotionally confident it is. The synthpop meets alt-rock style is executed flawlessly, but what's even more impressive is the amount of album tracks that actually rival its excellence. I was really stoked when I found out James Ford was producing Memento Mori. The man's a legend in the UK, having produced some of my favorite records of all time by Shame, Florence and the Machine, Arctic Monkeys, just to name a few. He did work with the band on their last album, Spirits, but that album didn't really find its stride, although the production was strong. That wasn't a complaint from me, and I feel like his role behind the board makes way more sense for an album like this. LP 15 walks back the additional shadows for a more friendly, shall we say, digestible style that blends the dark synth elements of their classics with a new twist of fate lyrically that flexes Depeche Mode's older, wiser, still fucked up mantra. Fans of their older works, from Music for the Masses to Violator and Songs of Devotion and Faith, you'll be pleasantly surprised to hear how well they blended their gut instinct for meaningful songs without stagnating or making this feel like some sort of desperate throwback album to try and recapture the glory days. One moment we could be pondering sex, death, and the infinite void while the musical soundscape erupts with passion, while the next could be a tangled web of bleary alt-rock nihilism rooted in the disdain many of us feel for humanity, or maybe the lack thereof we continuously witness in the 24-hour news cycle. Even with a few slight missteps that feel a bit like Depeche Mode on autopilot, I can't rave enough about how amazing this album actually sounds. Like, put on the headphones at night, set the mood, and let yourself feel this ethereal connection as they combine tantalizing keys, jolting choruses, and flat out memorable as hell melodies that never let the fire go out. The record opens in what I could see being polarizing fashion with My Cosmos Is Mine, a song that does reward the listener's attention as it expands its universe over the course of a 5-minute deep space exploration that thrives in controlled chaos. A certain quippiness sparks the second track Wagging Tongue, which I don't see as a top highlight, but still, it carries a really pleasant atmosphere into the big hit Ghosts Again, which screams perfection from every note. Dave is in top form vocally as the synth rock tune smashes the charts, and rightfully so. It's ear candy from the way it's mixed so richly to the towering heights of that big build-up to the twinkling keyboard solo that ends it. Don't Say You Love Me is the only song on the album that I don't think is very good. I saw someone say that it feels like AI wrote a Depeche Mode song, and it's pretty accurate given how flat everything from the writing to the vocals feel, but really, it's a minor setback on an album that only gets much, much stronger. Fear looms in the shadows of My Favorite Stranger as the industrial guitar spikes like a solar flare in the midst of a dripping synth storm, warning of introspective combustion, eventually giving way to the harrowing beauty of track 6, Soul With Me. They capture such a timeless feeling there, somewhere between life and death, heaven and hell, floating into the unknown with a graceful, self-aware ascension. Caroline's Monkey really grew on me. There's a shipping container of metaphors sailing through as tangible influences of old school acid house link with kind of a funky touch because the groove is strong with this one. We finish out the final 5 songs on a monumental run set into motion by the provocative vision before we drown that might just be the best damn cut from Memento Mori. Holy mother of God, does this track send a shiver down the spine? The sweeping strings, that lacerating synth that fires off like a laser during the hook? It does not get much better than this. You see, I say that, but then People Are Good saunters through the door chomping on nihilism like a horse to his bit. I struggle with nihilistic tendencies myself, and the honest conflict between wanting to believe in humanity and fooling ourselves, as Martin cleverly shifts it to in the final act. It's so grimy, and I love every second of it. Always You morphs a knocking beat with an evocative caricature of love, and knowing that this is Depeche Mode after all, there is a subtle knowledge that things probably aren't always as they seem on the surface. They twist the dagger one last time for the most rock-oriented offering on the album Never Let Me Go, an almost post-punk 80s take on a fresh modern sound that goes off like an atomic bomb. We close the gates with Speak to Me, an apprehensive but loyal ode to conflicting mindsets. Martin said something to the effect of this being a metaphor of being torn between wanting to be with other people and sinking back into isolation, leaving the listener with a thoughtful, slow-burning send-off to a truly great record. God-tier cuts are pulled off with expertise and ease. 50 minutes zoom by thanks to the beautiful attention to detail, so even if you're only vaguely familiar with them, maybe you heard their music in Last of Us or something, Memento Mori is a perfect place to start, and their 15th album gets a 4.5 out of 5. Thanks so much for tuning into my review of Memento Mori by Depeche Mode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Smash that like button and subscribe for the love of music. If you can't tell, this album has me really fired up and excited, so I hope you enjoyed it as well, and there's more reviews you can check out on screen, and I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.